Welcome to the class. So now we move on to the topic, which is Rolle's theorem. In this particular chapter, this Rolle's theorem and Lagrange's theorem has some importance. So Lagrange's theorem we used to find, we used to say it as mean value theorem. And if you see previous year question papers, in each and every question paper we can find one question from either this Rolle's theorem or Lagrange's theorem. So that much of importance we have in this particular concept, means these two are that much of important concepts. Now we shall discuss about those important topics. So what this says, first of all, Rolle's theorem. So what do you mean by Rolle's theorem? If I have a function f of x, say f is a function defined in terms of x, otherwise we can take directly f is a function. If it satisfies three conditions, condition number 1, if the function f is continuous in closed interval AB, and the second one, if the function f is differentiable in open interval AB, and f of a is equal to f of a. F of a equal to f of b. If any function satisfies all the three conditions, then there exists C. There exists a C which makes f dash of C equal to 0, and the C belongs to open interval AB. Means there exists a number, element, whatever we say, there exists a C which belongs to AB and which makes f dash of C as 0. When it happens, if the function satisfies all the three conditions, then only. If the function fail in any one condition, then this does not happen. Okay. Now we shall discuss about the converse. What converse says? Converse means what? If f dash of C is equal to 0, if f dash of C is equal to 0 and C lies in between a comma b, then f is continuous in AB, f is differentiable in open AB, and f of a equal to f of b, which doesn't make sense in Rolle's theorem. Means in Rolle's theorem, the converse does not, means converse may or may not exist. So always we cannot say the converse is true. But if the function f satisfies these three, definitely C lies in between AB and f dash of C equal to 0. So if we take an example, x square minus 1 as a function. So y is equal to x square minus 1, which is defined in between minus 2 comma 3 or minus 1 comma 3. Just take one interval, just what I do, minus 1 comma 3. F dash of C means how to find its derivative. F dash of means f of y, nothing but dy by dx. I consider this as a function in terms of x, nothing but f of x. So I found it's a derivative. What f dash of x represents here? 2x. If I make this one equal to 0, f dash of C equal to 0 means in place of x I have to substitute C. That gives 2C equal to 0, C equal to 0. You can identify the C equal to 0 means 0 is a number which belongs to the interval minus 1 comma 3, which lies in between minus 1 and 3. But so what I say, this is a converse. So I started from the last, right? I started from the last. I found f dash of C and I got a value of C which lies in the interval. So if it lies in the interval, it has to satisfy these three. Here when it satisfies, if converse is true for all. That's what the condition. Note. Okay. Now we are checking whether it is possible for all the cases or not. See, f of minus 1. What is f of minus 1? Minus 1 whole square, 1 minus 1, 0. What is f of 3? F of 3, 9 minus 1, 8. Is these two are equal? No. But even though these two are not equal, we got a point which lies in between minus 1 comma 3 and which makes f dash of c, means f dash of x as 0. So, if f dash of c is 0, there exists a c which lies in between minus 1 comma 3. At the time we cannot say it follows Rolle's theorem. So that's what we have to distinguish between the theorem and its converse. So converse may or may not exist, but the theorem exists for all, means where it satisfies. If it satisfies for this all, definitely it happens. C, there exists a c which makes f dash of c as 0 and the c lies in between a comma b. Now we discuss this particular thing in geometrical way. I have a function f of x. We discuss this one in a geometrical way. I have a function f of x. I have its curve which is defined in closed interval AB, means it's continuous in closed interval AB. So it is continuous. Continuous means what I can say? I can able to draw its curve without lifting my chalk on the plane of blackboard. See, if the function is defined in between AB, so from A started. Suppose start from the particular thing. I take A to B. This is B and this is A. This is our function. So first condition is satisfied. It's satisfied, which is continuous. I didn't lift my chalk while drawing the graph, and we assume this is differentiable in AB. Is differentiable in AB, and f of A equal to f of B. What f of A says? This particular value y coordinate and this particular value y coordinate. Yeah, if I join this particular thing, we can say these two parts are equal. If it is f of A and this one is f of B, both are equal. Right. Three conditions satisfied. Now, according to the Rolle's theorem, if it satisfies the three conditions, what it has to satisfy? There exists an element, there exists a number c in between AB, which makes f dash of c as 0. So now we discuss geometrically what f dash of c represents. What do you mean by this f dash? What do you mean by derivative? So how the derivatives are important in curves, identifying a curve. See, if I have any curve represented by y, dy by dx represents slope of the curve at any point. Slope of the tangent of the given curve at any point. See, if I have a curve like this, if I want to draw a tangent, the slope of the tangent is given by dy by dx at any point. If I want to find its slope at particular point, which is nothing but x is equal to c, that represents slope of the tangent at x is equal to c. So I consider x is equal to c. Let it be f of c, the value f of c, right? Okay, this point I took as c, f of c, and according to Rolle's theorem, what we have? F dash of c is equal to 0. F dash of c is equal to 0 means slope of the tangent at particular point c, slope of the tangent drawn to the curve at a particular point c is 0. Slope is 0. Slope 0 means what? What we know? Slope of x-axis is 0 and lines parallel to x-axis is 0. Right? So from that what we can say, if I want to draw tangent to the curve at a point C which makes its slope as 0, that line means nothing but the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So if f dash of c is equal to 0, if f dash of c is equal to 0, then the tangent drawn to the curve at x equal to c is always parallel to the x-axis. So from what point I drawn the tangent? From what point? C, x value c, and y value what we get? Y is nothing but f of c, no? Y is equal to f of x. Y is equal to f of x. If I substitute x value as c, I get f of c as y. So I got y coordinate as f of c. So what is the point? Nothing but c comma f of c. So always the tangent passes through c comma f of c. If I want to get the particular tangent equation, what's the equation of tangent? I have a slope which is nothing but 0. I have slope 0 and it is passing through the point c comma f of c. Passing through the point c comma f of c. Then slope point from y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So this total part will be equal to 0. So the equation of tangent is y is equal to f of c. The equation of tangent y is equal to f of c. So in this particular case, what and all we learned? So we learned the point where tangent is parallel to x-axis. Find the point where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. That point is nothing but c comma f of c. So how we get c? We get c by equating. So we get f dash of x first, we get f dash of x, and we make f dash of c as 0. Means in place of x, I'll substitute c and I'll make it equal to 0. Then I'll find the value of c. After that, I'll find the value of c. This gives a geometrical representation of Rolle's theorem. Now, if I have a function like step function, if I have a function like step function represents greatest integer function. So I have a function f of x is equal to step x. I have a function f of x is equal to step x, right? So I have to check it is defined in between minus 2 comma 3. Otherwise, it is defined in between 0 comma 3. Check whether it satisfies Rolle's theorem or not. So if it has to satisfy Rolle's theorem, it has to satisfy 3 conditions that already we know. So before that, how step x behaves? What's the graph of step x? What do you mean by step x? Nearest and smallest integer. Nearest and smallest integer. Suppose if I take step of 1.3, which will be equal to 1. So our resultant is always integer, right? If I take this one as x-axis and this as a y-axis, and y is equal to step x. So I want to give some different values to this particular thing, and I want to observe. See, at 0 integer we get y value 0. At 0 we get 0. At 0.1 0, y value 0. At 0.2 y value 0. 0.9 y value 0. But at 1 we get the value of y as 1, right? At 1 we get the value of y as 1. So solid circle we get. So from here to here 1. The same way from 1 to 2, 1.1 is 1, 1.2 is 1, 1.3 is 1. But if I reach 2, the value of y becomes 2. Solid 2. Right, again from 2 to 3 how it behaves? Till 3 it acts as 2 only, but at 3 it becomes 3. Like, so this is the graph of a step function. Now by seeing this, what we can say? Directly we can say f of x is not continuous function. F of x is not continuous. So this is not continuous at 1, and it is not continuous, at 1, and it is not continuous at 2. It's not continuous at 3. So whenever the value of x belongs to integer, step x discontinuous. It's not continuous. If it is not integer, what happens? You see, if it is not integer, if it lies between 0, 1, 0 closed, 1 open, then I got a line which is equal to x-axis. It is continuous. I can draw the figure. So if x value belongs to not an integer, then the function is continuous. The function is continuous. You see, this one continuous and this one continuous, here to here continuous, here to here continuous. So in this particular cases, means from 0 to 1, so I have here 1, 0 to 3, no? So 0 to 3, from 0 to 1, it is continuous. From 1 to 2, it is continuous. From 2 to 3, it is continuous. From 3 to 4, it is continuous, and so on. But these three particular things only belongs to the given curve, right? These three only belongs to the given curve. So now, if you see, its derivative, nothing but slope derivative. See, from 0 to 1, the line is parallel to x-axis and equal to same as x-axis. 0 to 1, it is x-axis. 1 to 2, it is x-axis. 2 to 3, x-axis. Sorry, 1 to 2, it is parallel to x-axis. 2 to 3, parallel to x-axis. 3 to 4, parallel to x-axis. Then what about the slope of the line in this particular cases? These are nothing but the lines what are parallel to x-axis, 0. dy by dx is equal to 0. Means in between this the slope is 0, and in between this slope is 0, and in between this slope is 0, means f dash of c is 0 here exists, f dash of c here exists, and f dash of c also exists, right? Even the function is not continuous in 0 to 3, we are getting f dash of c is 0 for an integer, not an integer, you take f dash of c, anyone from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, we cannot take. This is what says step x. So we can say step x derivative does not exist at integers. Okay, just try to understand the concept of what I explained here. 0 to 1 and 1 to 2. See, if I consider from 0 to 3, there are 2 points of discontinuities. At 1 it is discontinuous, and at 2 it is discontinuous. At 3 closed, but we are not checking the 3. So in this particular place, these two are discontinuous. If you are not considering these particular things, the function is continuous from 0 to 1. But the definition what it says, we have discussed in the second exercise, continuity in an interval. If it is defined in particular interval, it should be continuous for all the elements, all the values between this 0 and 3. But it is not so. So what we can say, the function is not continuous. If the function not continuous, its derivative does not exist. So derivative of f of x is a step x. Differentiation of step x does not exist. Still, if I want to find its derivative, see, whenever we are not able to do, further we are taking different conditions and we are evaluating, right? The same way, further, if I want to find its derivative, f dash of x. So that's what I made the interval into splittings, nothing but 0 to 1, one part, 1 to 2, one more, 2 to 3. So its derivative is existed in between 0 to 1, 1 open, 0 closed, and 1 to 2, 1 open, 2 closed. And you can see at 0 also it is not existed, because we have the previous one, no? So it is existed only for the open intervals 0 1, 1 2, 2 3. So finally what we can say, derivative of step x exists only for real numbers minus integers, and the derivative is nothing but equal to, what is the derivative of this particular line? 0. So dy by dx is 0. So y is nothing but step x. Derivative of step x is 0 if it is not an integer. It does not exist. does not exist for integers. Derivative of step x does not exist for integers, and derivative of step x exists and which is equal to 0 for non-integers. Okay, shall we move on to the exercise? I hope so. I hope you are understood. If you have any doubts, later we discuss. Move on to the exercise. What they have given in exercise. Yeah. Verify Rolle's theorem for the following functions given from question 1 to 5 and find the points in the interval where derivative is 0. Find the points in the interval where the derivative is 0. First question you take. First one. F of x is given as x square minus 5x plus 6. F of x is given as x square minus 5x plus 6 in an interval 1, 4. Right? I am checking Rolle's theorem. Rolle's theorem, what it said? If it has to follow Rolle's theorem, it has to satisfy 3 conditions. Condition number 1, f is continuous. Reason, I want reason. What is the reason? Continuous. F of x is a polynomial function. Polynomial functions are always continuous in real numbers, but they have given only one interval, so it's continuous. F dash of x, first find out f dash of x. F dash of x is equal to 2x minus 5, which exists for all real numbers. F dash of x exists for all real numbers, so it exists for 1 to 4 also, right? So f is differentiable. Third one, f of a should be equal to f of b. So find f of 1. F of 1, substitute 1 here. 1 square 1 minus 5 plus 6. 6 plus 1 7. 7 minus 5 2. Next, f of 4, 16 minus 5 4s are 20 plus 6. 16 plus 6, 22 minus 20 2. So I got f of 1 is equal to f of 4. So it satisfied all the 3 conditions. So Rolle's theorem, f satisfies Rolle's theorem. So if f satisfies Rolle's theorem, they ask us to find the points. Find the points in the interval where derivative is 0. Find the points in the interval 1, 4 where its derivative is 0. Let f dash of c, let the c be the point in 1, 4. Let c belongs to 1, 4. It should be open interval, right? Now f dash of c should be equal to 0 as per the condition. So f dash of c is equal to 0. What is f dash of c? Already I found f dash of x. So f dash of c, 2c minus 5. 2c minus 5 equal to 0. 2c equal to 5. c equal to 5 by 2, which is nothing but 2.5, which is lies in between 1, 4. Right? So this is the point. This is the value c. And if I want a point, what is the point? What is the point? C is a 2, 5, and find the point where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. Find the point where tangent is parallel to x-axis. What is that point? That point is nothing but c, f of c. What I said. The value of c is 2.5. Nothing but 5 by 2. Use 5 by 2 only. I need f of c. How can I find f of c? I have f of x. And I know c value 5 by 2. Substitute here. If I substitute, what I get? F of c is equal to, means f of 5 by 2 is equal to 5 by 2 whole square minus 5 into 5 by 2 plus 6. 25 by 4 minus 25 by 2 plus 6. So which is equal to here 4, 25 minus 50 plus 24. 24 plus 25, 29, sorry, 49 minus 50. So the point where we drawn a tangent which is parallel to x-axis is nothing but 5 by 2 comma minus 1 by 4. But they asked till this one only. We got the c value which is nothing but 5 by 2. Read the question. What is the question? Verify Rolle's theorem for the following functions and find a point in the interval where derivative is 0. Find the point where the derivative is 0. At 5 by 2 the derivative is 0, which lies in the interval 1 comma 4. Okay, let me go on to the next question. Given f of x is equal to x into x minus 1 whole square, f of x is equal to x into x minus 1 whole square, and x belongs to 0 comma 1. Polynomial function. So first condition satisfied, f is continuous. Second one, find f dash of x. So what is f dash of x? It is in the UV form. X into 2 into x minus 1, and x minus 1 derivative is 1. UV form, no? U into v dash. First it is in the form x power n into x power n minus 1. Next it is not x, it is x minus 1, so I have to perform its derivative. Now plus x minus 1 whole square into derivative of x is 1. So now what is f dash of x? F dash of x is equal to x into 2x minus 1 plus x minus 1 whole square. We can see this particular thing. It is also a polynomial function. It exists for all real numbers. So f dash of x exists in between 0 comma 1. Now f of a is equal to f of b or not. So first f of 0 is equal to 0 into something 0. F of 1 into 0 0. Both are equal. So Rolle's theorem verified. So verify Rolle's theorem, nothing but the function f satisfies Rolle's theorem. Next, if it satisfies Rolle's theorem, what I have to find out? Find the point where its derivative becomes 0. Means I need to find c. Let c belongs to the interval 0 comma 1 open. Okay, 0 comma 1. Now f dash of c equal to 0. So what is f dash of c? So this is f dash of x. Substitute c in place of x. C into 2 into c minus 1 plus c minus 1 whole square equal to 0. Okay, simplify. 2 into c minus 1, c square minus c plus. So instead of doing this, c minus 1 we have here, c minus 1, we can take c minus 1 common. C minus 1 into 2c plus c minus 1 equal to 0. So c minus 1 into 3c minus 1 equal to 0. C equal to 1 or 3c minus 1 equal to 0, c equal to 1 by 3. We need to find a point which lies in 0 comma 1. If I take 1, it does not lies. 1 should be open. Okay. So what is my point? What is my answer? The point is nothing but 1 by 3. So which is equal to 1 by 3. Next problem. Third main, f of x is equal to sin x minus 1. F of x is equal to sin x minus 1. Third minus second. F of x is equal to sin x minus 1 and it is defined in between pi by 2 comma 5 pi by 2. They're closed, right? So whenever a function is given somewhat difference form, we have to find their common domain. See, it is a constant, so sin x only gives a function. It is, what is the domain of sin x? R. So sin x is continuous for all real numbers. In that all real numbers, this is one of part. It's a subset of real number. So f is continuous. We have to write the statements, don't neglect. Second one, why f is continuous? Domain of sin x is real number, pi by 2 minus comma pi by 2, 5 pi by 2. So this particular interval is subset of R, therefore f is continuous. Now find f dash of x. F dash of x is equal to cos x. F dash of x is equal to cos x, constant derivative 0. Cos x, domain of cos x is all real number. So f dash of x defined for all real numbers. So this is a particular part in the real number. Therefore, f dash of x is, f of x is differentiable. Third word, f of pi by 2. What is f of pi by 2? Sin pi by 2, 1 minus 1, 0. F of 5 pi by 2. Sin 5 pi by 2 minus 1, which is equal to 5 pi by 2. Pi by 2, 2 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 4 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2. Nothing but equal to pi by 2. So, the value of sin pi by 2, 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So, f of pi by 2 equal to f of 5 pi by 2. Therefore, f satisfies Rolle's theorem. So if it satisfies Rolle's theorem, we have to find a point. Find a point where its derivative becomes 0. Where its derivative becomes 0. Okay. Now, for that, f dash of c equal to 0, you have to consider c belongs to pi by 2 comma 5 pi by 2, open interval. Now f dash of c, I got f dash of xl cos x, so I get cos. What is the solution of cos c? N pi plus or minus n pi plus or minus alpha. N pi plus or minus alpha. Okay. Now for what values the particular thing is 0? For what values? And that value should be like in between pi by 2 comma 5 pi by 2. Pi by 2 comma again 5 pi by 2. See, what are those? Pi plus pi by 2. Pi plus pi by 2 alpha. First pi by 2. Pi by 2. See, if I put n value 0, I get pi by 2. If I put n value 1, I get pi plus pi by 2. Pi minus pi by 2. Don't go for minus because we don't have negative numbers. Pi plus pi by 2. Pi plus pi by 2, which is 3 pi by 2. Next, n equal to 2. 2 pi plus pi by 2. 2 to the 4. 4 pi plus pi, 5 pi by 2. So it is 0 for these three. But you can say pi by 2 and 5 pi by 2 are not in this particular interval because those two are excluded. So what I can consider? The value of c is equal to 3 pi by 2. So it is 0. F dash of c is 0. The c is nothing but 3 pi by 2. Next, take fifth question. E power 2x into fifth name, take second one. Sorry, the third one, you take third one. F of x is equal to e power 2x. F of x is equal to e power 2x into sin 2x minus cos 2x, which is defined in between pi by 8 comma 5 pi by 8. Pi by 8 comma 5 pi by 8. I have to check whether this is continuous or not. First part, f is continuous or not, right? E power 2x, it is defined for all real numbers. Sin defined for all real numbers. Cos defined for all real numbers. So these functions defined for all real numbers means these functions are continuous for all real numbers. This particular part is a subset of real number. So the given function is continuous in the given interval. F is continuous. Second part, f is differentiable or not. F dash of x is equal to e power 2x into differentiation of sin 2x 2 cos 2x, right? Sin 2x cos 2x into 2x derivative is 2 minus differentiation of cos 2x minus 2 sin 2x. So minus into minus plus. Differentiation of cos 2x is minus 2 sin 2x. Okay, minus into minus plus sin 2x minus cos 2x into derivative of e power 2x, e power 2x, derivative of e power 2x, e power 2x. Now, sorry, e power 2x derivative, e power 2x into, it's not x no, e power x derivative is e power x, is e power 2x, e power 2x into 2. Now if I take e power 2x common, 2 cos 2x plus 2 sin 2x plus 2 sin 2x minus 2 cos 2x. So minus 2 cos 2x plus 2 cos 2x gets cancelled. So I got f dash of x as e power 2x into 2 plus 2 4 sin 2x. Again, e power x is defined for all real numbers. Sin of something is defined for all real numbers, right? So f dash of x is defined for all. It is existed for all the numbers. Then it is differentiable in the particular interval. It is differentiable in the particular interval. So it is differentiable. Third condition, f of pi by 8 is equal to e power 2 into pi by 8 sin 2 into pi by 8 minus cos 2 into pi by 8 2 into pi by 8. Find the value. 2 1s are 2 4s are. So e power pi by 4 into 2 1s are 2 4s are. Sin pi by 4. Sin pi by 4. How much? 1 by root 2 minus cos pi by 4. Cos 45. 1 by root 2, which gives 0. Now f of 5 pi by 8, which is equal to e power 2 into 5 pi by 8 into sin 5 pi by 8, sorry, 2 into 5 pi by 8 minus cos 2 into 5 pi by 8. 2 1s are 2, 4s are 2 1s are 2, 4s are. So 5 into pi by 4 lies in which quadrant I have to find out. So 5 into pi by 4 can be written as 5 plus pi by 4. 5 into pi by 4 can be written as 5 plus pi by 4, yes or no? See, 4 into pi, 4 pi plus pi, 5 pi by 4. So 5 pi by 4 can be replaced by pi plus pi by 4. Then f of 5 pi by 8 we get as e power 5 pi by 4 into sin 5 plus pi by 4 minus cos pi plus pi by 4. Pi plus pi by 4 belongs to third quadrant. Third quadrant, sine is negative, cos also negative. All silver teacups, only tan positive. Tan is reciprocal. So e power 5 pi by 4 into sine of pi plus pi by 4 is nothing but minus sine pi by 4 minus cos of pi plus pi by 4 minus cos, so we get plus cos pi by 4. Sine pi by 4 1 by root 2, cos pi by 4 1 by root 2, minus 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, we get cancel 0. 0 into something 0. So what we can observe, f of pi by 8 is equal to 0. F of pi by 8 is also equal to 0. We can say the given function satisfies Rolle's theorem. If it satisfies Rolle's theorem, we have to find the point which lies in between pi by 8 and 5 pi by 8. We need to find the point which lies in between pi by 8 and 5 pi by 8, which makes f dash of c as 0, its derivative as 0. So let c belongs to pi by 8 comma 5 pi by 8 open. So this is f dash of x. Now I take f dash of c as 0. So f dash of c is nothing but e power 2c into 4 into sine 2c equal to 0. Right? Now, according to this, you can get e power 2c equal to 0, which does not exist. No value can make exponential power as 0. We already learned that. You put any value which does not make equal to 0. So, this will be always a number. Now, 4 into sine 2c. So, sine 2c will be equal to 0. Sine 2c equal to 0 means sine 2c equal to sine 2c equal to sine. So, what value will be 0? Sine 2c equal to sine 0. Right? 2c equal to 0. C equal to 0. When if c equal to 0 means I got alpha. What is the general solution of sine? Theta equal to n pi plus minus 1 power n into alpha. N pi plus minus 1 power n into alpha. So the theta is equal to, if suppose n value 0, 0 will be equal to 0. If n value 1, theta equal to pi, theta equal to pi minus 1 power 1 minus 1 into 0. Pi minus 0 pi. Right? Next, if n value 2, theta equal to 2 pi plus 0. Right? Like and so on, we get many values. In that many values which lies in between pi by 8 and 5 pi by 8, we have to consider pi by 8. So what is the value of pi by 8 and 5 pi by 8? Substitute pi by 8 180 by 8 and this one 5 into 180 by 8. 22.5 no? 8 ones are 8 twos are 16, 20 remains, 2s are 0.5, 22.5 degree, and 5 into 22.5, 5 is 25, 2. The same thing can be happened for sine 2c equal to sine pi. Then 2c will be equal to pi, c equal to pi by 2, which is equal to 90 degree. Now we find the value pi by 8. Pi by 8 is nothing but equal to 22.5. 5 pi by 8 is nothing but equal to 112.5. 112.5. See these values, theta values. Theta value 0, theta value pi, or theta value 2 pi. Means we can take 2c is equal to 2 pi, c can be equal to pi. but this pi does not belongs to the interval, so it belongs to only this particular part. Therefore, the value of c is equal to pi by 2. The value of c equal to pi by 2. Next, sixth one. Read the question. Verify the condition of Rolle's theorem for the following function. Find a point in the given interval where the tangent to the curve is parallel to x-axis. Given sixth one, f of x is equal to log x square plus 2 minus log 3 defined on minus 1 comma 1 point where the tangent to the curve is parallel to x-axis. Find the point where tangent parallel to x-axis. Same aside. Also find equation of tangent. Find the equation of tangent, right? Okay. F of x is given. First point we have to check whether it is continuous or not. The given interval is minus 1 to 1. The given interval is minus 1 to 1. For log x means if I have here x should be always greater than 0. The domain of log x is x greater than 0. But here what I have? X square plus 2. If I substitute any real number, square of a real number is square of any number is positive. So for all real numbers, if I consider this as g of x is greater than 0. So what is the domain of this particular thing? All real numbers. Minus 1 comma 1 is a subset of real number. Therefore, the given function is continuous in minus 1 comma 1. Why I neglected this particular thing? What's the reason? It's a constant, so no need to check. Now second thing, find f dash of x. F dash of x is equal to log x square plus 2 log x. If I take its differentiation is 1 by x. So 1 by x square plus 2 into, it is not x. Again differentiation of this particular thing, 2x plus 0 which is 2x minus differentiation of any constant 0. So I got f dash of x is equal to 2x by x square plus 2. Denominator does not be 0, but no value makes the denominator 0 because x square is always positive. Positive plus 2 is always positive. So what is the domain of f dash of x? All real numbers, and the even interval is minus 1 comma 1. So minus 1 comma 1 is a subset of all real numbers. Therefore we can say f dash of x means the function is differentiable. The function is differentiable. Square plus 1. It is defined for all real numbers because x square plus 1 will not be 0. X square is always positive, right? So the domain of f dash of x is R and the given interval is minus 1 comma 1. So this minus 1 comma 1 is subset of R. So for all the numbers between minus 1 to 1, the given function f of x is differentiable. So if it is differentiable, we have to check third condition. What is the third condition? F of a and f of b. F of minus 1 equal to log minus 1 square 1 plus 2 minus log 3 which is equal to 0, and f of 1 log 1 square is 1 plus 2 minus log 3. So log 3 minus log 3 0. So f of minus 1 and f of 1 are equal. So from the three conditions we can say the given function is satisfies Rolle's theorem. So if it satisfies Rolle's theorem, they asked us to find the point where the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So where the tangent is parallel to the x-axis, that point is nothing but c comma f of c. Earlier what we have discussed. So first I have to find the point C where its derivative is 0. So for that purpose I have to make f dash of C as 0. F dash of C, f dash of x is 2x by x square plus 1. So f dash of C is 2c by c square plus 1, which is equal to 0. Now 2c equal to 0, c is equal to 0. At c is equal to 0, its derivative becomes 0. Now I want to find the point. So c equal to 0 represents the point x coordinate. X coordinate is 0. Now I have to find y coordinate. Y coordinate is nothing but f of 0. So f of 0 is equal to log x value 0, 0 square plus 2, which is nothing but 2, minus log 3, and we know log m minus log n equal to log m by n 2 by 3. So the point where tangent parallel to x axis is 0 comma log 2 by 3. And again they ask find the equation of tangent. I have a point and it is parallel to x axis whose slope is 0. I can use y is equal to y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1, and that too we have derived a formula which is nothing but y is equal to f of c. So y is equal to c value 0, f of 0. The value of f of 0 is log 2 by 3. So log y equal to log 2 by 3 gives the equation of tangent. Next question. If Rolle's theorem holds for the function f of x is equal to x cube plus ax square plus bx, in interval 1 comma 2 at x equal to 4 by 3. So what it says, the value of a is 1, b is 2, and c is 4 by 3. And they said this particular function holds Rolle's theorem. If it holds Rolle's theorem, we get f of a equal to f of b, and the same way f dash of 4 by 3 must be equal to 0, means the value of c is 4 by 3. So using these two conditions we get two equations. Solve the two equations. So first condition, substitute f of a value as 1, b value as 2. If I substitute a value as 1, we get 1 plus a plus b, which is equal to 2 cube, 8 plus 2 square, 4 into a, 4a plus 2b. Separation, 4a minus a, 3a, 2b minus b, b, 1 minus 8 minus 7. Take it as equation 1. To find f dash of 4 by 3, we need to find f dash of x. So first find f dash of x. F dash of x is equal to 3x square plus 2ax plus b. Now f dash of 4 by 3 is equal to 3 into 4 by 3 whole square plus 2a into 4 by 3 plus b. 3 into 16 by 9 plus 8a by 3 plus b. 3 ones are 3 threes are. Now I got f dash of 4 by 3 as, by taking 3 as LCM, 16 plus 8a plus 3b. If according to the condition, if it is equal to 0, if I make equal to 0, what I get? 3 goes this side. Now I get 16 plus 8a plus 3b equal to 0, nothing but 8a plus 3b equal to minus 16. Equation 2, and I have equation 1. Solve these two. So for that purpose, I am multiplying equation 1 by 3 and then I am subtracting it from equation 2. So multiply by 3, I get 9a plus 3b, which is equal to minus 21. Subtraction, minus a equal to 5. Therefore, the value of a equal to minus 5. The value of a equal to minus 5, substitute in this to get b. 3 into minus 5 plus b equal to minus 7. So b is equal to minus 7 plus 15. So b is equal to 8. The next one, examine Rolle's theorem is applicable to the function f of x is equal to step x. Earlier what we discussed, the same thing. Once again we discussed. Given f of x equal to step x, defined in the interval minus 2 to 2, closed. Whether it follows Rolle's theorem or not, and discuss its converse. So what about its converse? What can you say about its converse? First, I check whether it is satisfies Rolle's theorem or not. See step x. Earlier what we discussed, step x is not continuous for integers. In between minus 2 and 2, we have integers minus 1, 0 and 1. So at these 3 points, the given function is discontinuous. Therefore, we can say the function is discontinuous. First condition alone it is not satisfied. We can say that f does not satisfies Rolle's theorem. Now we go to its converse. What it converse is? F dash of x is always 0 for x not integer. If x is a not integer, we get always f dash of x equal to 0. So in between this, except at these particular values, in between minus 2 comma 2, except minus 1 comma 0 comma 1, minus 1 comma 0 comma 1, we get 0 for the all values which are lies in between minus 2 comma 2. So here f dash of c is 0 and c is lying in between minus 2 comma 2 only, even though the given one is does not satisfy Rolle's theorem. So what we can say, converse of Rolle's theorem may not exist. Why may not exist? If converse of Rolle's theorem has to exist, what it has to satisfy? F dash of c should be 0 and c belongs to a comma b, and the f must, if it happens, the f must be continuous. But we got f is not a continuous, it's a discontinuous. Okay, that's why converse of Rolle's theorem may not exist. Going to the 10th one, is actually we have to start at the beginning. They have given many functions. Check whether Rolle's theorem satisfies or not. If I take a function f of x is equal to tan x, which is defined in 0 to pi. See, in 0 to pi I have pi by 2. At pi by 2, tan x does not define, it does not exist. So it is not continuous. So Rolle's theorem does not exist. And one more, if I have f of x is equal to x square plus 1, which is defined in between minus 1 comma 2, as it is a polynomial function, it is continuous for all real numbers and it is differentiable for, because f dash of x is also polynomial, it is differentiable, but f of minus 1 is equal to 2, f of 2 is equal to 2 square plus 1, which is 5. Both are not equal. Then we can say that the given function does not satisfies Rolle's theorem.